Astronauts into space. It's about to happen, and Liz Clayman has the story from the SpaceX facility in Hawthorne, California. Only in America, Liz.
Oh, you perfect point, Stuart. Only in America can you wake up one morning and say, I am going to start a rocket ship company, and here we are in Hawthorne, California. In the last hour, we showed you the rocket that SpaceX is putting together. This is called the Falcon 9. They expect to test this next year. They have tested Falcon 1s, that's one engine versus 9, 3 of which have gone up, 3 of which have not succeeded to their heights that they were expected to succeed, but they never called that a failure here. Now, I'm showing you what they want to put the astronauts in. NASA is paying SpaceX and Elon Musk, the chairman and founder of this company, hundreds of millions of dollars to get this happening and to make it work. This is called the Dragon Human Crew Capsule. And I am joined now as we walk around this incredible piece of equipment by Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX and the chairman as well. Tell me about this Dragon Crew Capsule.
Sure. Well, this is the vehicle that is intended to replace the Space Shuttle after the Space Shuttle retires in terms of servicing the space station. So initially we'll be taking cargo to the space station to resupply the astronauts, as well as bringing experiments back to Earth. And then we expect to upgrade this to carry people as well, and then transport astronauts to the space station.
How many astronauts?
It can take 7 astronauts, the same as the Space Shuttle.
Okay, it seems small, but compare it to, say, Soyuz that the Russians have.
Yeah, this is at least this is more than twice as big in terms of interior volume as the Soyuz, which carries 3 people. If you look at the Space Shuttle, although it's a very large craft, the crew cabin is actually not that big. You can think of the Space Shuttle like a giant semi-trailer where it's got a big cargo bay, but it's got a fairly small crew cabin. And that's why we can carry as many people as the Space Shuttle.
We're in a working rocket ship factory, and that's why you hear all of the noise. But you're upping the quotient by putting humans into one of these things. I mean, I see the little window here, but
right.
You haven't succeeded in getting the rockets all the way up to where you'd like them to yet. Does NASA pressure you? Are they calling saying, SpaceX, could we get this going, or we're a little concerned? Or do they expect these kinds of failures in the incipient stages of a company such as this?
Well, NASA, I mean, there's no organization in the world that understands space more than NASA does. And they're very familiar with the early history of rockets in the early development phase. And in the early development phase, there's, things are expected to go wrong until you go fully operational. NASA understands this. And so while they would obviously like us to finish the development phase and get to orbit as soon as possible, they recognize that leading up to that phase there will be issues.
You did have a successful splash test. I think we have video to show our viewers of both the splash test, and then you're creating the heat shield. And I guess as I look at this, I'm wondering where and when this will go on the nose cone of the Falcon, but do you think you'll hit your time target?
We do expect to do our first launch next year. That'll be with the Falcon 9 vehicle carrying our Dragon spacecraft, yes.
So you have made how many milestones? Because if people don't understand how these NASA contracts work, you have to hit, I believe you have 22 milestones on your books. How many have you hit so far?
I think we're at around 14 or 15 milestones. And so we've met all the milestones on time. In fact, we finished the 9-engine firing of Falcon 9, which is one of the biggest milestones, and arguably the most difficult milestone to achieve in our vehicle development. We achieved that 2 months early.
Now, they discovered water on Mars, that Land Rover, and when people saw those pictures of the water being discovered, does that add a little so-called rocket fuel to the space race and get people more excited and more hopeful about a company like SpaceX?
Well, definitely the confirmation of water on Mars and water in large quantities, and in fact going beyond that, the verification that Martian soil could actually sustain Earth plants and is non-toxic, means that we could create another ecosystem on Mars. We could create an Earth-like ecosystem. It would take a lot of work, and initially things would have to be in pressurized domes, but all the ingredients are there, the water, the soil, all that stuff. So we could create another ecosystem. We could back up the biosphere onto Mars.
And it could come from this Dragon. Before we go, he's got one eye on the heavens and one eye on the road. Look at the Tesla. He is also the chairman of Tesla Motors. This is the rocket ship of vehicles on I guess our roads here. Goes how fast?
Well, it's a supercar performer in terms of acceleration. It's got 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 4 seconds.
All battery powered, Stuart. And as we finish up, you've delivered how many so far now?
We're at about 27 or 28, and we're producing about 5 per week, and we'll be ramping that up by the end of the year to 20 per week.
Do you have a CEO?
Yeah, absolutely. Zev Torrey.
Okay. Zev Torrey is the CEO. And finally, when are you going to take SpaceX public? I have to ask you that one.
I think probably within 2 years or so. 2 years. Yeah.
So you do plan to have an IPO of SpaceX, all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Liz,
All right,
that was
Elon
great.
Musk live from SpaceX.
Yeah, the founder of
Stuart, back to you.
PayPal, Rocket Man. Terrific
Yep.
stuff. Thanks very much, Liz.